The energy is very hot right now. By hot, we mean hot as in electronics, because you are experiencing an ever-increasing frequency weight of your neurological synapses. The reason why these synapses are firing at a higher frequency is because your consciousness is resonating to higher frequencies and dimensions. In fact, your states of consciousness are beginning to match the frequencies of higher light that are penetrating and transmuting all your neural synapses. In your human state of consciousness, there are three major categories. Your unconscious mind, which is your alpha and delta waves, which is your fourth dimensional self, your conscious mind of beta waves, which is your third dimensional self, and your superconscious mind of gamma waves, which is your fifth dimensional and beyond self. Right now, these transformational waves of higher light are everywhere within your current translation of reality. We say translation because each of you is beginning to perceive frequencies of reality which you have never perceived before, that is, in this incarnation. Most of you have had many incarnations on Earth. Some were parallel realities, some were simultaneous realities. But in these realities, you chose to take simultaneous versions of reality in order to rehearse your ascension. Now this is not a rehearsal. The long-awaited process of planetary ascension is here. We are learning about this process now. And what we are learning is that ascension is not leaving. Ascension is returning. As you expand your consciousness into your fifth dimensional consciousness, you become as creative as you always were in your imagination. This expansion of consciousness and creativity is because new areas of your physical brain are being stimulated by these higher frequencies of light. Your unconscious mind is aware of these higher frequencies of light, but your conscious mind, which is too often separated from your unconscious and superconscious mind, is often not aware of these interchanges. You can hide things from your conscious mind. You can even lie to your conscious mind and tell it a convenient lie rather than a difficult truth. Your conscious mind can hide out in the 3D and forget the myriad other components of your total self. But now the higher frequencies of light are becoming conscious. Let us define conscious, which is quite complicated. Your ego self has been the keeper of your conscious mind for many of your incarnations. With this limited dimensional access of your conscious mind, you could only receive that which resonated to the third dimensional state of consciousness. Therefore, if your ego could believe that what it perceived was real, it could store it in your conscious mind. Unfortunately, your third dimensional ego is very tainted by the myriad challenges, traumas, lies, and disappointments of daily life. Therefore, it will often decide that something is real because it wants it to be real. The conscious area of your mind is also very easily brainwashed because it only perceives the third dimensional physical world. On the other hand, your unconscious mind can perceive your fourth dimensional reality, and your superconscious mind can perceive the fifth dimension and beyond. What is occurring now is that the higher light has been altering your earth vessel at a very baseline frequency, that was once undetectable by your unconscious mind. However, now your conscious mind is increasing its ability to detect the higher frequencies of light because your superconscious mind has been teaching your third-dimensional brain how to expand its frequency range. It is only within your conscious mind that you can lie to yourself. You, our beloved ones, have been repeatedly told that your conscious mind is your best mind, your self, etc. In fact, your conscious mind has suffered the most brainwashing by the eternal lies, deceptions, and fearful information. However, your superconscious mind is awakening, and your perceptions and translations of reality are increasingly transmuting to consciously encompass the higher frequencies of gamma rays. In fact, now, the gamma rays are penetrating your atmosphere, your reality, and your physical body. Therefore, your innate gamma waves, fifth-dimensional consciousness, is coming online with your conscious perceptions and are beginning to intermingle with your third-dimensional perceptions. Hence, your third-dimensional perceptions are expanding. This expanding awareness may feel as if someone has turned on the lights. Actually, that someone is you. You have turned up your frequency. It is vital within this now that you recognize that you are on the cusp of allowing yourself to acknowledge that you can perceive a frequency of reality that is just beyond your physical perceptions. When you embrace this fact with your conscious mind, your fifth-dimensional perceptions move into the category of being real. In other words, your conscious mind was innately given the role of determining what is real in your ever-changing world. However, once your conscious and your superconscious minds merge, that which is perceived via your superconscious mind will also be determined as real. When you begin to allow a more conscious experience of merging your superconscious mind with your conscious mind, there will be a flash of higher consciousness in which you will be able to perceive a fifth-dimensional message with your conscious mind, and you will recognize it as real. More and more of you are remembering how to share higher dimensional information with your conscious mind, as well with others. Because you are still wearing a 3D Earth vessel, you can participate in the experience of third-dimensional Earth. However, you actually are a multi-dimensional being who has volunteered to wear an Earth vessel to better assist Gaia with her planetary ascension. Your Earth body is the vessel you must wear in order to calibrate your state of consciousness with the third-dimensional frequency of reality. From our perception in the higher dimensions, it is a simple neurological adjustment that will allow you to expand your consciousness into the fifth dimension. That is, it would be simple if it were not for the brainwashing and the memory of the many difficult, painful, and frightening lives in the third dimension. We are here, beloved ones, to remind you that you are a multi-dimensional being who chose to take a third-dimensional Earth vessel on Earth to assist Gaia and her planetary ascension. We ask that now you remember that you are your superconscious self. You are your superconscious mind. And in fact, you are your multidimensional self. It was the density of the third dimension, as well as myriad past lives, that led you to believe that only the third dimension was real. Yes, your third dimensional body is real in that it is a third dimensional form. However, as the fifth dimensional light continues to activate the 97% junk DNA in your body, your consciousness, your perceptions, and your physical body will begin to recalibrate to a higher frequencies of light. Remember, you perceive the frequency of reality that resonates to your state of consciousness and your state of brainwaves. Those of you who are able to perceive the higher light can do so because you can feel the unconditional love that resonates to that frequency of light. Once you allow yourself to know that these perceptions are real, then you are in for quite an experience. We will not say more in this now, as this is your script and you will write it. All of you, the human and non-human members of Gaia's Earth, are using your unconscious, conscious, and or superconscious mind to choose the frequency of reality that you wish to experience. Whether or not you are conscious of this fact, you are all calibrating your brain waves and your states of consciousness to the frequency of reality that you wish to live. However, only your superconscious mind is able to take this risk of being one of the initiators of the next octave of reality. If your conscious and unconscious mind is merged with your superconscious mind, you will be fully aware of this choice. In fact, you will be fully aware of your own higher multidimensional self. This higher self is the you who has remained in the higher frequencies of reality. The higher you is in constant connection with your physical you via your superconscious and your unconscious mind. If you can look into your own heart, you will find your higher self. Then you will also be able to see the higher self within the hearts of others. It is one of your greatest challenges to look into the hearts of those who would judge you or even harm you, and to send them unconditional love. However, to do less than that would lower your own consciousness out of your superconscious mind and back into the limitations of your conscious mind. Your challenge is to not allow your state of consciousness to be lowered by their judgment. Allow your conscious mind to remember the past, parallel, and alternate realities in which you lived during an era of peak experience. These experiences are often during a timeline in which you are experiencing a reality shift. A reality shift occurs when it is the now for the you, person, and planet to calmly and powerfully enter into a higher dimensional expression of reality. This process will be greatly facilitated if you can connect your conscious mind with your unconscious mind to review what you have learned in your myriad incarnations. In this manner, you will also facilitate the full activization of your superconscious mind. We are asking you all to love yourself unconditionally during this process of personal and planetary shift. Please remember that unconditional love for yourself allows your consciousness to resonate within the now of the One. And blessings to you all, and see you in the fifth dimension.